Hi again, witchy people. Just another quick update and an explanation. Okay, so I was asked about my poison garden. That may be slightly misleading. I don't have a poison garden per se. I have a huge planter that has my most toxic plants in it. I hold the belief that all plants have the power to harm, heal, or both. For instance, borage is incredibly tasty. The flowers are delicately sweet, and yet if you touch it, for a lot of people, it's almost like having itching powder sprinkled on you, and it causes quite severe skin rashes and skin reactions. Obviously, digitalis foxglove is one of the more well-known heal harm plants, but my most toxic plants are kept away. But gardens in general do tend to be quite toxic places because of the plants growing in them. So we all have poison gardens, but some parts of our gardens are more poison than others. So I took a video, it was quite a long video actually, just showing this small portion of my garden that has to be kept in, it's okay for afternoon light, not okay for first morning light. It has to have that little bit of shade. A lot of toxic plants, baneful herbs, do not like very, very bright sunlight. So my garden's not doing too well at the moment because we are in the middle of this heat wave where the heat isn't as bad as the humidity. It's really quite awful. And it's kind of, you just want to sleep all day. Anyway, this one part of my garden where the planter is placed, it has gates, only tiny little gates to stop my grandchildren from going in. They know not to touch any plants in my garden, but obviously having the more serious toxicity of the plants, didn't make sense, did it? The more toxic plants away from them is a good idea, but I also keep this part of the garden separate for another reason. I do have two small gates in my garden. One is to stop anyone from going down the further end of the garden, and one of them is to stop them going into where the poison plants are, but also it stops I have a garden pond, and it has banks going up each side, so it's a raised pond, and it's only raised about maybe a foot, maybe just over a foot, except on one side where the garden is raised also and is in line with the top of the pond, and I don't like the grandchildren going near that simply because I don't want them to fall in. So that part of the garden is a no-no, and they know not to go in that part of the garden. They just don't attempt it. But I will upload the video so you can see briefly the few plants that I do have there, which is woody nightshade, hemlock, black nightshade, and aconite, not wolfsbane, monkshood, because it's purple. So that's the main reason for this. I would also like to briefly touch on what I did on midsummer, at the summer solstice. Now I know this was quite a while ago now, we're talking more than a week, but I've been busy, and like I said, the weather has been awful. I don't do well in hot weather. I like autumn and I love winter. So anyway, on midsummer what I did was a simple bee calling ceremony, which I may explain more about and put that up, simply because I like to have bees in my garden and they love my garden, and I would like to say that this bee calling ceremony worked very, very well. And then I decided to do a lot of pruning in the garden, and with that pruning I saved what I pruned and what I cut back in order to dry it out and then sell it on. A lot of it is necessary, well, all of it is necessary pruning. You can't really just let a garden grow wild because everything will go to seed. Geraniums, but the cranesbill geranium, which I gathered an awful lot of, if it's just left, it gets very long and leggy and it doesn't flower very well. If you chop it down, about half of it, it will start to bush up again and you'll get more flowers. So and that's better for the bees. Speedwell, I grow a lot of speedwell, which sows seeds and grows quite well. I think it's called Veronica longifolia, I think. So I had to prune back quite a lot of that, and I brought some into the house, which was nice. I had it displayed in my house, which looked lovely. So those were the main two. I also had to cut back my borage, so I've got lots of borage. There was white clover, a little bit of that, a lot of poppy petals, and I do have this like a pink pom-pom poppy, and a pale lilac fizz poppy. So I got quite a lot of petals off of those. What was left of my iris buds, my iris flowers, that was collected also. Some of the woody nightshade, which hadn't quite made it, that had to be cut down as well. Chickweed, rosemary, I think that's it. And my lilac tree, my purple lilac tree, had to be cut back. So I have some major pieces of wood that I will do something amazing with, or not. So all that will be in the store when I get around to it. This is it's slightly less than a quarter roughly of the cranesbill geranium that I collected, and this is without the stalks. I take the leaves off and the flowers, and I tend not to keep the thicker stalks in there. So that's got quite a bit. Like I said, that's about a quarter of it, and it's the same with the speedwell, an awful lot of it. So when I have a few giveaways, I suspect that I will be doing quite a lot of, oh, I'm going to put some speedwell in for you and a bit of cranesbill geranium. So, and talking of that, I'm hoping maybe in a couple of months, maybe less, but probably a couple of months, I will be doing another giveaway, and I'm going to make it quite a major giveaway because it shocked me completely when I have two channels. I have another channel that is used for my crafting, and when something is uploaded, I get a notification through my phone, and so I went on to this channel. Oh, I'm making this so much more complicated than it needs to be. I went onto this channel and noticed that I had 450 subscribers. There are 450 absolutely insane people out there. And I love you all, I do. So when I reach 500, which I know isn't a lot, really, in the greater scheme of things, most channels have a lot more subscribers than me, but 500 to me is a major amount, so I will do a very nice giveaway on that one. So that's it. I will upload the small part of the video that shows my poison garden straight after I say goodbye. And hope that, so I've got to keep moving my candle because I don't want my candle, I've got a shelf, a wooden shelf, so I don't want the candle to mark the wood of the shelf, the heat of the candle. Yes, I will upload that so that you can see that part of my garden, which is my baneful garden, my poison garden, which I'm hoping to have a lot more in it. My datura didn't make it, so I'd like to get that in it, and my enchanter's nightshade hasn't come up yet, but we'll see how it goes along. And so hopefully that will continue to grow and develop, and I will finally, maybe one day, get some belladonna up there too. So until next time, thank you for watching, witchy people, and bye for now. Going in through the gates, which are usually locked. It's been a very hot summer so far, so my grass isn't doing very well. Right, in here we have lots of foxgloves, and cup and saucer, I think those are. And we have a little tiny weeny caterpillar. And this is mallow, of course, speedwell. Gladioli, I hate gladioli. Lupins are poisonous. We have verbena bonasaurus, I think this one is, and fern. And as you can see, my this is not doing too well. Anyway, onto the poison part of the garden. I'm going to sit on my rather dirty bench. So, at the moment, what you have over here is the woody nightshade. In the middle here is the hemlock. Down here, with a little ladybird, we have the black nightshade. And then just here at the front, we have the aconite, or monkshood. So that's the only, apart from the few plants dotted around, this is the actual poison part of the garden. That's my poison garden, which is just there. And over this side, I haven't planted anything yet. I have to get some more earth in there, and that will soon be planted up as well. So that's the main poison part of the garden. Right, for everything else we have bulrushes and more rushes. This is spearmint. Obviously we have the crane's bill. We have a buddleia, more geranium. We have the acrolegia, and I think borage is there.